Ed.
Yeah, Johnny, you?
I'm back. You got back from Bury.
Oh, you had a good day?
Yeah.
There we are.
Perfect,
Cheers.
thank you.
Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name's Mispa. Welcome back to another video. So we passed the summer solstice, June the 21st, so it is now officially summer, and I thought in the next few weeks I would share some of my favourite salads with you. Today I'm going to start with a real classic. It's called the Waldorf Salad, and it was invented in New York at the famous Waldorf Astoria Hotel. It's a really simple but delicious salad. So you start first of all by making the dressing. So the dressing is 2 ingredients. It's mayonnaise. So I'm going to use 4 tablespoons of mayonnaise. I think the recipe actually calls for 6, but I'm using quite heaped tablespoonfuls. So 4 is going to be more than enough. So that's the mayonnaise, then 1 tablespoon of lemon. So I've squeezed my lemon into this dish here, and I really do recommend fresh lemon. So if you don't have it, then the jar, but it's just so delicious using fresh ingredients. And I know I've seen some recipes where they actually use cream and not mayonnaise, and I've seen others where they use yogurt, natural yogurt, and not mayonnaise, but this is the classic recipe. And then it's just simply a pinch of salt and then some pepper. So that's your dressing, and then you have 4 ingredients for the salad. And you start first of all with chopped red apples. So red look better, obviously you can do it with green, but red just looks so colourful. So these are just 2 large chopped red apples. So that's your first ingredient going in. And then your second ingredient is celery. So 1 cup of chopped celery. And then to that, you add 1 cup of red grapes, which I have sliced into half. And then the final ingredient is walnuts. So these are the pale brown walnuts. They're English walnuts, and 1 cup of walnuts. Mine are actually, I think it's half a cup, because I don't want too many nuts in my salad. Obviously, you can play around with the ingredients, so whatever you like more of, you can adjust. And that is it. So it takes 1 minute to do, a minute to put together, and then it's traditional to serve it on a bed of lettuce. So you either get a plate, and I'm using a bowl, and you put a bed of lettuce on there, and then you serve your salad on the bed of lettuce. It does look delicious. It's colourful, it looks attractive, and it tastes really delicious. So that's the Very simple Waldorf salad for today. In the second part of my video, I'm going to share a book review with you, and I hope you enjoy that. So this week's book recommendation is The Diary of a Provincial Lady by E.M. Delafield. It's a really long book and you can just dip into it and read bits of it. It's not a book that you sit down and read the whole lot. You can dip into it and you will find it witty and amusing. It was written by E.M. Delafield in the 1930s as a serial in a magazine, and it's loosely based on her life. So even though it has this old-fashioned title, don't be put off thinking it's an old-fashioned read. It feels very modern and very relatable. So the Provincial Lady is married, she has 2 children, and she lives in Devon. And it's basically the happenings of her daily life and how she manages her household. And even though on the surface she appears privileged because she has a cook and a housemaid and even a nanny for her children, she's actually really frugal and she never puts the heating on. And if somebody pops in unexpectedly, she worries about what she's got in the kitchen to offer them for lunch. And if she's invited anywhere, she goes through her wardrobe in despair, and her clothes either feel too shabby or they're just not appropriate for the occasion. And she's always having this crisis of never feeling that her clothes are good enough, or she's been to the latest show or an exhibition, and she still feels that she's got to keep up appearances. And for example, one of her diary entries is that because she feels so washed out, she decides to cheer herself up and buy a new hat, thinking that will do something for her. She goes to the hat shop and tries on various hats, and her hair becomes wilder and wilder, and her appearance just looks worse and worse. So in the end, she goes to the hairdresser's, and he persuades her to have a brightening rinse. And then she emerges out of the hairdresser's with this very mahogany head. And the hairdresser assures her that it will wear off and she mustn't worry about it. But then she spends the rest of the day wearing her old hat pulled down over her hair so no one can see it. And it's just a very funny story, the way she tells it. She often has some conversations in her head where she asks herself questions, and she addresses herself in a very upper class and pompous way. And she says things like, query, why is it that women who are married with children are referred to as leisured? Answer comes there none. And so she always has this conversation in her head and then ends it by saying, answer comes there none. So she's actually very friendly and relatable, and you never laugh at her. You always find yourself taking her side and laughing with her. It's a really good book, and I recommend it as a book that will cheer you up and you can dip into and read bits of at your own leisure. So it's The Diary of a Provincial Lady by E.M. Delafield. So thank you for watching the second part of my video, and I'll see you for the third part.